If you're worried about finding someone who'll love you and who will be attracted to you, back fat and all, just know that you being terribly insecure about your flaws might actually run someone off much quicker than the back fat or the belly rolls ever would. You see that? And that? And all of this? Did anybody die? Everybody still good? The earth still spinning and stuff? We good? I thought so. Hey boo, this is Nika, and I am pleasantly unbothered. And girlfriend, let me tell you right now, you are so much more than your back fat, your side rolls, your belly rolls, all the rolls. There is not a roll in this world that can make you less worthy than you actually are. There is so much more to you than your double chin, your batwing arms, your kinkles, or your saggy inner thigh area. But I know how it feels to be held back by things that you don't like about your body or things that you downright hate. So I'm gonna share with you a few options that you have for dealing with these insecurities, including the option that has worked wonders in my life and how it can work for you too. I'm also gonna give you 3 simple steps that you can take to shift the way you view yourself and how you feel about your body. So be sure to stick around to the end so you don't miss anything. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I've lived in a plus size body for as long as I can remember, more or less my entire life. I know firsthand how tough it is to come to terms with parts of your body that bother you or that you just don't like. I've had plenty of them throughout my life. I still have parts that I don't quite like. And it's especially difficult since we live in such a vanity-obsessed society that tells us that extra fat on the body is only acceptable if it's in the right places. Which essentially means on your booty, on your hips, or on the booties. Like, that's the only place they want extra fat to be. It ain't fair, okay? It ain't fair. Plus, with plastic surgery becoming increasingly more common and us seeing women who are praised and admired after altering their body to be thinner or to have more of like the Instagram model type of body, it can be easy for those of us who don't quite look that way to feel like there's no place for us or like no one would ever want us because we don't have a certain look. I mean, after all, why would anyone be checking for someone with back fat and side rolls when the world is now filled with Instagram baddies? But the reality is that your body looks the way your body looks. And as much as you may want it to change or look differently, the reality is that this is the only body you've got. It's the only one. This is the body that allows you to exist in the physical world, to see, to touch, to taste, to feel. And that's truly what your body was created for in the first place, to experience life. And short of altering your body using surgery or some other extreme method, this is likely the body that you're gonna have for a long time coming. And unfortunately, for those of us whose bodies have gotten to the point where we have a hanging belly, or we have saggy back fat, or a certain amount of side rolls, or a certain amount of sagginess in that inner thigh area, by the time that our bodies have gotten to that point, there's often very little that can be done to reverse that. We can lose some weight to shrink our belly or reduce our back fat, but the extra skin that's left over won't necessarily snap back the way we expect it to just because we've lost the fat that's beneath it. So even if we find a way to lose the extra fat, there's a good chance that we'll still be living with a lot of saggy skin, basically excess skin that's left over after the weight loss. As a matter of fact, I've heard quite a few women who've lost a lot of weight say that they're grateful for the weight loss because their body feels better without carrying around extra weight. However, they still struggle to feel comfortable in their body because they've essentially traded the extra fat for extra skin, and they don't like the way that it looks or feels, or that they have to tuck it into their pants the same way they had to tuck their belly into their pants. I mean, so in a way, it's like you're trading one struggle for another. So if you have major issues with the way your body looks and you feel like no one will want you because of it, then you have some major decisions to make. You can spend the thousands of dollars that it will cost to have a doctor surgically remove extra fat or extra skin from your body, because again, weight loss often isn't enough to eliminate the hanging belly or the back rolls or the swinging arms or whatever the case is. The swinging arms, you know what I'm talking about, they swang. Just know that if you go that route, that it does come with some life-threatening risk, as all surgeries do. And unfortunately, there's still no guarantee that you'll actually like the way your body looks after all. So you kind of have to weigh it out for yourself. Another option is to invest in the best shapewear that the industry has to offer. These days, they make shapewear that can conceal everything. So you can just get some of that and just never take it off. Of course, that's not entirely realistic. And I know that some of us are concerned of being accused of catfishing once the lights go down and it's time for us to take those Spanx off to get it in with a partner, you know? All of a sudden, these back rolls are coming in that they didn't see before, and they're like, wait a minute, what's this? The third option is the one that I personally decided to go with, and that's the option where we learn to accept things that we cannot reasonably change and find ways to not let it hold us back. So again, we learn to accept the things that we cannot reasonably change, and we find ways not to let it hold us back. And I know that's a lot easier said than done. It did take me quite a while to get to this point, and I did talk about that in this video here if you want to check that out. I talked about the major epiphanies and light bulb moments that helped me to look at things in an entirely different way, and it changed everything. After 2 decades of hating my body and wishing that it looked differently, or wishing that it was shaped like someone else's, what I ultimately realized is that I had been taking my body for granted for all those years. Over 2 decades, y'all. And I know that some of you have me beat. I know that there are a lot of 60, 70, 80-year-olds who have had body image issues their entire life and still have those issues to this day. That's a long time to be struggling with your body, babe. That's a long time. Not all bodies are gonna look the same, nor are they supposed to. There are over 7 billion people walking this earth right now. 7 billion, that's a lot of people. It would be impossible for all of us to look the same, and incredibly boring. For as long as we are blessed to walk this earth, this is the only body that we will ever have. And that's for better or for worse. People think marriage is a big commitment. Like, this is where you live, babe. This is the only place. This is your house. And I've come to realize that some people would kill to have a functioning body, to have an able body, to have all of their limbs, to have a body that can do some of the things my body can do and your body can do. And if all they had to do was put up with some back fat or a big belly or some flabby arms, it wouldn't even be a hard choice, not even close. On the flip side of that, there's some people who would literally rather die than be fat. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. There is so much more to life than some extra fat. So much more. And if we're being honest, there are very few things that a fat body would hold you back from doing. You can do most things. You probably can't go on a roller coaster, let's say, if the belly's a little bit too big or something like that. And I know that that's hurtful. I know that the things we can't do will always shine brighter or be more enticing than the things that we can. However, we can't forget to be grateful for the things that we are still able to do and the blessings that we do have that, like I said, some people would literally kill for. Just saying, be grateful. And so I had to learn to be grateful that extra fat was the biggest problem I was dealing with. It was a problem for me. It's something that, like I said, I dealt with for decades. So it wasn't a little problem. But I'm thankful, and I should have been more thankful, that it was the only problem, because it could have been so much worse. And honestly, for those years that I spent hating my body, my reason for it was very seldom linked to my health or my well-being or yada yada yada. My main objection with my body was based off of superficial reasons. I just did not like the way my body looked. And I didn't think that I'd be able to find someone who would like my body because of that. And when I say superficial reasons, that's not to minimize it, but that is one of those vanity-based sort of metrics that we use to help us determine our worth for whatever reason. And after those epiphanies and light bulb moments that I had, that I talked about in the other video, those reasons just were not good enough anymore. I just could not continue using that to justify hating my body and holding myself back from living a full life. As important as our bodies are, They are only one piece of what makes us who we truly are. And that was my motivation for creating the Confidence Booster Workbook. For those of you who've downloaded it, you've noticed that there is very little mention of anything that has to do with your physical appearance. And there's a very good reason for that. And that's because there are so many people in this world, more than you realize, who have that perfect look, or who have the ideal body, or who have the look that you've been dreaming of your entire life. And yet they're still horribly insecure and lacking in confidence, even with everything going for them physically. And the reason for that is that the real issue is in here and not out here. I know that you think your life would be so much better if you were one of the lucky plus size women, God's favorites I've heard them referred to as, who have the flat stomach and the big booty and not a single roll in sight, and the tiny waist and the slim face and all of the assets in all the right places. And I know this because I've spent, again, decades of my life feeling exactly the same way. But no matter how much I managed to change my body over the years, none of that ever actually helped. What actually improved my life and made the biggest difference when it came to my happiness and my satisfaction was learning to embrace and accept my body exactly the way it is, without judgment and without hating it for any reason, even if it doesn't look exactly the way that I want it to. I also spent a lot of time learning about attraction, reading about it, observing how other people behave, experimenting with it myself, the whole nine. And I've come to realize that people are genuinely attracted to different shapes and different sizes and different styles and different flavors of people and of bodies. People are genuinely attracted to different types. Not everybody is solely attracted to the Instagram baddie body. Ooh, say that 5 times fast. I also discovered from my own personal experience that our level of self-assurance and poise and overall confidence can be even more magnetic and much more attractive than having a perfect looking body. And we talked about the self-assurance and the poise and all that in this video here on confidence. So if you're worried about finding someone who will love you and who will be attracted to you, back fat and all, just know that you being terribly insecure about your flaws might actually run someone off much quicker than the back fat or the belly rolls ever would. Insecurity is generally not an attractive trait that's whether on a man, on a woman, or anyone who identifies otherwise. And when you wear those insecurities on your sleeve, people can pick up on that, and oftentimes that'll be the thing that sends them running, not your back fat girl. When you find someone who truly cares about you, they care about you. All of you. And whether or not they're a fan of flabby inner thighs or a hanging belly or back fat or anything else you might be insecure about, those things won't be enough to stop them from caring about you or wanting to be with you. It is totally possible for you to be sexually attractive and to turn somebody on, okay, despite having attributes that we've been told are unattractive. Again, I'm speaking from personal experiences, so you better go get yours. And again, I talked about beauty standards and the false ideas that were sold about beauty in the first video, right there if you want to check it out. I have had back fat and all the other kinds of fat, if we being honest, since I was a preteen and all the way into my adult life. And I have never, ever had a partner say anything to me about it, or say anything at all for that matter. And if they did have negative things to say about parts of my body that they didn't like, that wouldn't mean that I should go out and start changing those parts of my body. It would actually mean that I'd be better off changing the person that I was dealing with. Okay, let me get an amen in the comments if you feel me on that one. Let me get a hallelujah, okay? So if you want to start accepting the things that you cannot reasonably change, here's what you gotta do. First, you gotta start focusing on the entirety of who you are. That's mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and any other ali you wanna add to that. All of you. You gotta focus on who you are as an entire person rather than obsessing over the visual of the bits and pieces that you don't like. The more you do that, the more that you'll come to realize that you are so much more than your physical appearance, and you deserve a lot more credit than you've been giving yourself. As I mentioned, I created the Confidence Booster Workbook to help you gain a clearer understanding of your internal value and to help you tap into the other special parts of who you are. If you want to download it, just click the first link in the description box below to get a printable copy of the workbook so that you can start recognizing and amplifying the things about you that make you the bomb.com. Because girlfriend, you are the bomb. You all of that in a bag of chips. And if you're from my generation, you know what that means. And regardless of any insecurities that may be plaguing you or any flaws that you think you might have, you are absolutely worthy and deserving of love. Matter of fact, you and your body, don't leave your body out of this, you and your body are absolutely worthy and deserving of love, period. So you can either get with the program and start appreciating yourself now, flaws and all, insecurities and all, things that you'd want to change and all, or you might as well prepare yourself to feel this way about yourself for the rest of your life, because nothing changes if nothing changes, and it's only going to change if you change it. It's your body, and no one is going to change the way you feel about it other than you. The second thing you'll want to do is to find a way to curate the images, the videos, and all the visuals that you're exposed to on a daily basis. Spaces like Instagram and YouTube can be amazing for this if you find the right people to follow and the right images to fill your feed with, but unfortunately, it can also be the absolute worst for this. Whether or not we realize it, us witnessing the celebration of thigh gaps and post-pregnancy snapbacks and tiny waistlines with giant asses, all of it takes a toll on us on some level. And if we're not careful, those images and messages can alter the way we feel about ourselves, because our subconscious mind eats all of that up without us even realizing it. Then before we even know it, we're comparing ourselves and using the idea of someone else's body, their level of attractiveness, to measure our own worth or our own attractiveness compared to theirs. So the best thing that we can do is to be more careful and more intentional about the kind of images that we're allowing to enter our brains, because they can either do a whole lot of good or a whole lot of bad. So if your issues are your hanging belly and your flabby arms, seek out influencers who have learned to embrace theirs and who are now genuinely unbothered by flaunting those attributes. And the same goes for any other feature or body part you may be insecure about. The more that you see folks living unapologetically with the features that you dislike about yourself, the more it'll normalize it for you and help you get past feeling like you need to feel bad about any of it. There are a lot of great people out there to follow who can teach you a lot of great things. I've listed a few Instagram accounts that are great for this down in the description box below. And another great way to find new people to follow is to search the hashtags. So hashtag back rolls, hashtag double chin, whatever it is. They're bound to help you connect with others who are living with a lot of the same things that you are. And while you're over there, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, because I actually post over there now. And that actually ties into the next thing that you gotta do, which is desensitize yourself from the visual of the body part that you do not like. Until you do that, those parts that you don't like will continue to cause you stress and may even cause you to cringe every time that you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror. So instead of shying away from looking at your hanging belly, or avoiding full-length mirrors so that you don't have to see your back fat or your saggy inner thighs, what you're gonna do is force yourself to look at them and do it very intentionally. You can't keep shying away from them, and you can't keep making a face or a sound or anything when you look at yourself. That's gotta stop. I mean, well, actually you can make a face, but it better be like, ooh, like, hey girl, you know, like it better be a face, okay? You better be appreciating that body if you're making a face or a sound effect. None of that judgy stuff. And that's actually the crucial piece of this. When you look at yourself, you have to commit to doing it without judgment. And you also have to resist the urge to assign emotional feelings to the way that you're experiencing your body. So for example, I can look in the mirror and I can see my big round hanging belly. It's there. I can't not see it. It's there no matter what. Whether or not I want to look at it, it's there. But the key is that I no longer attach the sight of my belly to the feeling of being gross or feeling disgusting or feeling undesirable. Those are seriously things that you should not be feeling about your body. Those are not feelings that you want to have. So let's get rid of them, boo. They're out of here. It is entirely possible to have a large belly while at the same time knowing that it does not reduce my worthiness of love in any way. And that's whether or not another person is attracted to me because of it. None of their perception of my body actually dictates my worthiness and my deservingness, I don't think that's a word, of all the things that I want. Again, YouTube and Instagram can be great for exposing you to people who have mastered this and who no longer feed into society's lies about what makes us worthy or beautiful or attractive to someone. Just be mindful of who you're following and what kind of messages they're putting out there. As someone who's benefited from self-acceptance and learning how to make peace with my body and my appearance, I can tell you that this approach actually works and it's totally doable. But I'm gonna be real with you. This is not going to be the path for everyone. If you've decided that you simply cannot come to terms with your appearance, no matter how much work you've put into it or how hard you've tried, that it's something that you just cannot get past. And if you happen to feel like you want or need to take more drastic measures to change your body or to achieve a certain kind of look, then maybe that's exactly what you need to do. The plastic surgery industry can certainly be problematic at times, but the field exists for a reason. So if that happens to be the route that you decide on, just be smart about it. Do your research, ask the important questions, make the necessary preparations, save your coins. I mean, I really wouldn't advise going into debt over something like that, but hey, it's not my life. That's really none of my business. If that's the direction that you choose to go in, just be careful. There are many success stories and lots of people who are very pleased with their results. But there are also a lot of people who regret ever having a tummy tuck or a mommy makeover, or who are still struggling with complications from the booty lifts and the implants and things, you know? So just be smart, be careful, take care of yourself first and foremost. Either way, just remember that your mindset won't change just because your body does. So you'll still have to put some work into loving yourself and feeling better about yourself, because there really aren't any surgeries that can fix that. Only you can fix that. But damn, if I could think of a surgery to fix that, woo. If you enjoyed this video, please do the thumbs up thing and share it with someone who can benefit from it. Far too many of us are living in bodies that we just hate, and it really shouldn't be that way. So please share this message. Also leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on this topic. And be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a future upload. I post a new video every Friday, and next week we're actually going to be talking about getting ghosted. Unfortunately, ghosting seems to be a common feature of dating these days, so we're going to be talking about why it happens, why it hurts so damn bad, and how to handle it. I know that there are 1,000 other things that you could be doing or watching right now, so I certainly appreciate you being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Next week, Friday. Come back. And every Friday after that. Bye. I'm cute. Damn. No, let me stop. This hair though, it's not quite doing what I want it to do. Seek out influencers. That's such a hard word to say. Influencers. Mentally? What is mentally, girl? Mentally. Because I'm getting ready to say physically. So it's coming out mentally. You gotta start focusing on the entirety of who you are. I almost said mentally again. Girl, get it together. We got this. We good. Mentally? Stop saying that. Mentally. When I was younger, and by younger I mean this lasted well into my 20s, my mom would say, I'd pay you $100 if you'd go outside wearing this. And I'd be like, Mom, you're crazy. Right now, I'm like, where the money, girl? I'm going outside like this. Give me the money.